In this lecture, we will cover listing files and ls command breakdown. The first command I'm going to cover is ls. It stands for list directory contents. When you do an ls command, it will show you all the directory contents, whatever is listed in a particular directory. Everything's in it, file, directories, whatever's in that directory, it will show you, display that on your screen. So let's open up the terminal and let's run the ls command. See how it works. ls, hit enter. As you can see, it's displaying the contents of the current directory. We see a directory called dir1. There's a file1, file2, script.sh file, and that's how you display the contents of a particular directory that you're currently in. Let's move on to the next command. This command is ls-l to list files in the current directory with detailed info. So when you run that command, it shows you a certain outcome on the screen. So let's run that command first and then we'll break it down. So let me clear the screen. Let's run ls-l. Hit enter. When you do that, it will display you the detailed info. It will display the detailed info of the particular command, and it will show you what's in the directory, and it will tell you a lot more information regarding your files and directories. So let's break it down. So let me minimize this and let's go down to each column. There are a total of 9 columns listed when you run this command. So it tells you exactly what it does. So the first column is right here, and it stands for permissions. These are all the permissions assigned to a particular file or a directory. If it's a directory, there will also be a D right here, right before RW. Next one is, if you see right on top, it says to, and it stands for the links. The third column is where it says root. That's the owner, which is the user owner of that particular file. Next column is the group owner. In this case, it says sales here, and that's the group owner, which is the sales. And then you will see the size. In this case, the size is 0, but otherwise it will show you the size in KBs. The next is the month. It will show you the month the file was created or updated. The next is the day, which is 2, so it's June 2, and then it'll show you the time. And the last one is the file name. So let's look at the terminal one more time. If you can see right here, the terminal shows the same things. For example, file 1, these are the permissions. We will cover the permissions in detail in further lectures. But just for now, just know these are the permissions assigned to this file. These determine who can access this file and who can write to this file and who can only read this file. And you can change those. We will cover those in further in detail in later lectures. The next is the link. This file has only one link. This file has 2 links. This is the user that owns the file. This is the group that owns the file, and so on. This is the size of the file. This is the date when the file was created, the month, the date, the time, and the last one is the name of the directory or the name of the file. This is the breakdown of the ls command when you run it with ls-l, or it shows you the long listed detailed information. It's a very important command. You should study it and make sure you know what it's doing. So it'll be very helpful to you when you go and do advanced Linux administrative tasks. Let's move on to the next commands. Next is ls-a to list all files including the hidden files. So let's run that command and see what it does. So let me bring up my terminal. So far when we ran any other commands, it didn't show us any hidden files. There's a way to see the hidden files. So if you do ls-a, hit enter. As you can see, there are two other columns listed here. One is in green and the other one is just a dot. One is the dot, and then there's 2 dots. If there were any additional hidden files, they would also be shown here. Currently we only show 2. One is a dot. The dot represents your current directory, and 2 dots represent your parent directory. So meaning the directory that you're currently in has a parent directory, and that's represented by 2 dots. And 1 dot represents your current directory. If I do a pwd here, it shows you your current location, shows you which directory you're currently in. I'm under /tmp, and the directory I'm currently under is training. So I'm under the training directory, and the parent directory is /tmp, represented by 2 dots, and the training directory is represented by the dot. That's how it works. It shows you, this command shows you the hidden files. Let me clear the screen. Now, moving on to the second command, it's to show you you can combine 2 different commands. For example, we ran ls-l before, and it showed us the detailed information. When we ran -a, it showed us the hidden files. There's a way to combine both those commands. Let's see how we can do that. So ls -l, and then you can do -a and hit enter, and it will show you the detailed information plus the hidden files. As you can see right here, the first 2 rows, those are the hidden files, and it's showing us the detailed information. There's a better way to run this command. Usually what you will do is you won't type in ls space -l space -a. You can just run it as ls -la. Hit enter, and that will accomplish the same thing. That's how you can combine many different options when you're running the ls command. Let's move on to the next set of ls commands. So there's a couple of commands listed here. Actually, they're all ls commands, but there are different options with ls commands that you can use. We're already familiar with l. L is, it shows you the detailed information about the particular file and directory in your current directory. When you run h, it shows you the size in human readable format. So when you run -l or ls-lh, it will show you, it will list the files in current directory with their size in human readable format. So let's look at that command on the terminal. So let me clear the screen. ls-lh, hit enter. If now it's showing a similar result, but if, let's say, this file or the directory, for example, this file 1, was really huge, it was gigs or megabytes, it will show you in megabytes the size of the file. That's what the h command does. We don't have a large enough file, so you can see if it's in megabytes or how it's broken down. Otherwise, it'll just show you thousands of bytes, which will be hard for you to read. You will have to open up the calculator and calculate how many megabytes it is. So if you do an option which is h with ls-lh, it will show you a file in human readable format. Let me clear the screen. Let's move on to the next command. Next command is ls-lt, to list files in current directory with detailed info sorted by date and time with the newest file first. So the t command sorts it by date with the newest file first. So let's see that command in action on the terminal. ls-lt, hit enter. Now, most of these files were created pretty much at the same time. L obviously shows you the detailed information, but T shows you the file that was created, the newest file first. So as you can see, this file was created at 28 seconds, and this file was created at 30. So this is the newest file, and that's why it's showing it right on top. This is what the LT option does with the ls command. Next one is ls-ltr. So if you wanted to run the command lt and you wanted to see it in reverse order, this is what it will do: to list files with detailed info sorted by date and time with the newest file first. And I'll tell you why you would run this command. This is a command that I run most often. Let's bring up the terminal. Let's run ls-ltr, hit enter. The reason why you run this is because it shows you the same output ls-lt shows you, but in reverse order. So for example, the newest file, it will show you right at the bottom. The reason you want to do that is in a regular Linux system, your directory may have thousands of files and directories. And for example, you're searching for the newest file you edited or someone edited, maybe you're troubleshooting something, or maybe you just want to get back to the same file. You want to list the files by the order so you can view them. If you did just LT, ls-lt, you would have to scroll all the way up to find the newest file. This way you can see the newest file right here on your screen right at the bottom, so you don't have to keep scrolling up and down. That's one of the reasons why you use this command. So let me clear the screen. Let's move on to the last command. ls minus f. F is capital, so it's uppercase. It shows you the file types. So there are different file types. When you run a regular ls command or lsl command, ls minus l command, it doesn't show you what kind of file that is or what kind of directory that is, or if it's a directory or a file. To be able to do that quickly, you can run this command, and if you see a slash, that means it's a directory. If you see a @ sign, that means it's a link. And if you see an asterisk, that means it's an executable file, could be a script. So let's see that on the terminal so you can have a better idea. So ls minus uppercase F, hit enter. Now it's showing us dir1 has a slash, // and that means it's a directory, because // means it's a directory. Now the second file, file1, it doesn't have any link or anything else after the file name, so that means it's just a regular file. However, the file 2 has a @ sign. That @ sign means it's a link, so the file may be linked to some other file or some other place. So that's how you can distinguish between a regular file and the file that is a link. And the last one is script.sh, and if you see there's an asterisk right at the end. Asterisk means it's an executable file, so that file could also be a script. This is how you can distinguish between different files, and it's a very helpful option when you're running an ls command. Since we're at it, there's another command which can also tell you, it's not related to ls, but it can also tell you what kind of file that you are working with. So for example, we wanted to know more about the script.sh file. We know it's an executable file, but what kind of executable? To get that information, we can just type in file and choose the file we're looking at. Hit enter. Now it's giving me a lot more information. It's telling me it's a script.sh file, born again shell script, ASCII text executable. So this way you can get a lot more information when you run the file command. It's not part of the ls, but it's just something that's very useful at times. Let's do one more example. Let's run it on the directory. So file, let's do dir1. We already know it's a directory, but if we didn't know, you hit enter, it will tell you it's a directory. And that's how you can use this file command and also the ls minus uppercase F command to see what kind of files that you're working with. I hope you learned something useful in this lecture as well, and I'll see you in the next one.